wow. 6 months in Greece.
It's been 6 months living in Greece, and we're going to talk a little bit about the good things, the bad things, the pros, the cons, and just a little bit about our adventure here. The last time we did one of these, it was really like just a week after we got here, so we didn't really have a home, we didn't have a base. We finished up that trip, which we were in Corfu. After we left you in Corfu, we went to Lefkada.
We went to my family's home village in Koroni.
In the Peloponnese in Messenia. We went back to Athens. I had to go film something for work.
And I left with one of my friends to go to Kythnos.
So yeah, I was a little jealous. Katina got to explore a whole new island that I didn't.
Kythnos was absolutely amazing. It's an island I was almost hesitant to share with other people because it is such an untouched beauty.
That was only a few days before we came to Crete. So basically, we were in Greece for just a little over a month before we came to Crete, to Hania, where we knew we'd be staying. We had a long-term stay set up for the off-season, which didn't start until the middle of October, but we knew we needed to be close to here because this is where we are living, and there were some logistic things that we had to take care of.
Man, the logistics are definitely something that is one of the struggles, I will say, in Greece.
Anytime you move abroad, there's different rules for every country, and those rules aren't always very black and white and just cut out and sent to you. It's like, it's something that's new with the digital nomad visa. It's something that not a lot of people know, even lawyers I've talked to, and you get different answers everywhere you go, but everybody is very sure of the answers that they give you. Once we got to Crete, we explored Rethymno for a little bit, and then we came back to Hania to take a 2-week immersion course in Greek to better our language. Siga, siga, slowly, slowly. We are improving our language skills, but we still have a long way to go.
Siga, siga. And it was cool because during that time, we actually ended up staying in the port here. And I do think that that is a really cool experience. We were in the port for a month, and it was really cool to be able to have instant access to the hustle and bustle of the port. I will say that Hania Port does get pretty busy, especially during the height of tourist season. So if you want to stay in the port, I would suggest being on one of the cusp seasons, either at the beginning of the season or towards the end.
We were actually here in September, and it is technically cusp season. September is an incredible time to be here. There are a lot of events that happen throughout the summer though, so I wouldn't discourage visiting Hania during the season because there are so many things happening. There's like dancing in the streets. Every Tuesday they have a dance group that goes through, and there's just constant events. There's so many places that they activate and use, and there's so many good restaurants that aren't open year-round. However, the city is very livable and does have year-round life, unlike most. But this harbor area we are in, up until probably the middle of August, is very busy, and we wouldn't be able to film something like this.
It's typically packed with people. Something that I loved hearing from one of the locals here that we became friends with early on in our trip is that October here is paradise because it's still warm enough to be swimming. It still has, most of the restaurants are still open. The tourists have really died down, and you get Hania Harbor with the sense of life, but also the sense of calm and peace.
After we had our 1-month stay in the old town here, we actually had 2 weeks before our long-term stay started. So we used that time to explore a little more of Crete. We went to the east side of the island, visited a friend in Agios Nikolaos, and we also went to Lutro, which is a very peaceful town in Crete. Believe it or not, there are no cars, which is crazy. You feel like you're not on the island, you're so remote. It almost looks a little Cycladic with its white buildings and blue doors, and it's shielded by the mountains. Very beautiful. There's a lot of hikers that go there. Really, the thing to do in Lutro is nothing.
Yeah, it is the perfect place to completely unplug. All you need to bring to Lutro with you is your book, your bathing suit, and some hiking boots.
That was a great adventure. It was great to familiarize ourselves with the island more. And this is a place when people say they're coming to Crete that, can I see what I want to see in Crete in a few days? No. Can you have a great time in Crete in a few days?
Yes.
Yes. So like we've been in Crete now for quite a few months and we still have so much more that we need to see, and we are actively doing things so that we can bring content to you. We're constantly exploring and there's so much still to see, which is really exciting.
And Crete is absolutely gorgeous. And I literally mean it's full of gorges.
Yeah, there are tons of gorges in Crete, whether plenty for hikes, but there are also a few that you can drive through. There are plenty of places to drive around Crete and explore and see, from the gorges, from the mountains, and seasonally, everything changes, which we wanted to see the White Mountains. We kept hearing about the White Mountains. Here they are. Here are the beautiful White Mountains behind us, which, you know, took a little while to get here this year because we had a lot of warm days. So, you know, that's actually one of the biggest cultural differences that I've noticed. Here, everyone, no matter their political beliefs, believes that climate change is fact. It's known. I think weather is much more consistent here seasonally than what you see, at least where we're from in the States.
And they see the changes.
There's a lot of fishermen, a lot of farmers. They see the effects of those changes. When we first got here, we took a tour through town through the eyes of locals. And one thing that was very interesting that was said was he said, and this is someone around our age, when he was young, the White Mountains were white until July. They're white almost year-round. And now you have like January to March where they're white. And even then it's a little bit off and on. They are beautiful, and it's really cool to see Crete as it changes.
Yeah, and then something I think is really amazing here is because Crete is the southernmost island and one of the warmest islands, people swim year-round here. So even when it is pretty cold and chilly outside, it's not uncommon to be seeing at least a few people in the water swimming.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take that as, hey, come to Crete vacation in the winter and swim here.
No.
They say that in order to keep swimming, you need to swim year round. We actually swam on Christmas, and we had kind of been swimming once every couple of weeks. And by that point, our bodies, I think, had not been used to it, and it felt a little bit like pins and needles, I'm not gonna lie.
But I will say, it is so incredibly refreshing, even if you're only in the water for a few minutes, to have that brisk feel. Something that's also really cool about the waters, really all over Greece, is that they are incredibly salty. So when you think about the benefits of soaking in water full of magnesium, I swear you come out of the water here and you feel like a completely new person.
And whether we're able to swim or not, being by the ocean all the time, having access to the water is a big lifestyle improvement. And I think that's a lot of the beauty of Greece. The beauty of Greece, the calmness of Greece, especially outside of the major cities. There is less stress here, and that was part of our goal by coming here. So the people, the food in Crete is absolutely incredible, and being just in this beautiful place. But being an expat does come with its set of challenges. Like we said, logistical challenges are pretty difficult trying to navigate. One big issue that we've had was finding a long-term stay. So we knew we had the off-season long-term stay, but there's a housing crisis because of things like Airbnb. You can find places to buy, but finding places to rent is pretty difficult.
Especially if you need to find a house that's fully furnished, which, being the nomads that we are, we currently need fully furnished homes.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure things out and keep an open mind, so we didn't want to invest in furniture here, and finding something fully furnished was pretty necessary. And apartments are much less expensive than they are in the States, but the ones in the center are still a good bit more expensive than the ones you find out. We knew we wanted to be walking distance to the center, and we changed our mind pretty quickly once we were starting to look around. I did a lot of digging and only found about 5 places that were within a walkable distance from Hanya. And a couple of them were very expensive in a nice area of town. And by being here, we are sacrificing a lot of income. So we are trying to cut back our budget. There were a couple of places that we found that were options. one of which was incredible and in the center, but it was above a bar and across the street from a club. In the winter, it was really hard to gauge, but we know that in the summer, we might not be able to sleep.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a deal breaker.
It might even make siestas pretty hard too.
And we can't even completely gauge just how bad the sound would have been. I reached out on a local Facebook group in Greek, using my limited language skills, and it paid off because we did actually get a couple of leads, and one of which was the place we were ending up, which is about a 15 to 20 minute drive from town, but it is walkable to ancient ruins and a year-round village with like 3 or 4 tavernas, and the views are absolutely incredible.
They're absolutely stunning. Just waking up, it's beautiful. Walking around, it's beautiful. The fact that we have views of both the sea and the mountains, I am just so excited about.
Yeah, that's one thing that we really wanted to be sure that we had here was a view, because while we're here, we just want to feel like we're really here and feel those differences. And you see a lot of places that have one view or the other, but having both is really difficult to find. So we feel blessed that we found that. We're excited to be there. It's going to be a change from being so close to the center of town, but we're excited about it.
Where we're from in the United States, traffic, it takes pretty long just to get a few miles. So the fact that we can live somewhere and it's only 15 minutes to get to Hanya, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's close to the main road too, so we're a lot closer to Rethymno, which we love. If you've been following us, you know that based on our video we did on the food scene there in Rethymno at Hasaka. So, saga, we are getting through our struggles here. The next hurdle is residency permit and things like that. And something that we really needed to find this place to look for. I have had to go back to the States a couple of times for work to film music festivals at sea. It's fun, it's a ton of work, and the jet lag's a lot. It's really worth it to be here.
My life here, it's not without struggle, but being here and having the mountains, having the ocean, the food, just the calmer lifestyle, it has been so incredibly helpful to even feel a lot more at peace, more relaxed, and allowing anxiety to just take off and not sit on my shoulders.
One of the biggest obstacles that you think of is missing community. And of course, we miss our families, we miss our friends. Katina's family did visit for a while. But what I find is that when we were in America, after the pandemic and all the things that had changed and just our busy way of life, we didn't have time to see our friends. And that's very unfortunate. When we have people visit here, we actually get to spend more quality time with them. And we actually have met people here. It's crazy. We even met a couple on our flight to Hanya. We said, "What are you doing?" They're like, "We're moving to Hanya." And we're like, "Wait, we are too." And they're from San Francisco. And their reason for moving here was that Greece was the place that they always wanted to come back to. So I found that was really beautiful. And we've bonded with them. So the people that we are bonding with from abroad have a like-mindedness, I think, in the fact that they want to be here. And then some are Greek Americans. We've actually also found a lot of Greeks who have moved to Hanya, who love Hanya, that we have befriended. So, I think you just have to keep putting yourself out there and doing activities, and doing those activities, you will find a community of people. I think we have, a lot more work to do on that, but I do think that it's been a bit surprising that it's not so hard to find a community of people.
Right. So I think something that is important in finding community is finding activities that you really like to do that help you connect with other people. For me, it was finding an aerial studio. And it's been really helpful for me to be able to connect with other people who already have interests in like-mindedness as me. Another activity that I've just started is Cretan dance. Growing up, I've always been a Greek dancer, and now I'm really excited to dance with locals. So that's been another fun way. Something else that I think is really cool is now that digital nomads are becoming more and more popular, not just in the United States, but around the world, there's a lot of digital nomad communities. Here in Hanya, there's the Digital Nomads of Hanya. There's a large dinner once a week. There's a karaoke night that also has a dinner. There's painting groups. There's hiking groups, boating groups. There's basically a digital nomad group for everything.
Yeah, the digital nomad thing is actually a very easy way to connect at first. It's sometimes difficult to find lasting relationships, as many of the people that go to those dinners and gatherings are really in and out of Hanya or wherever you may be for a period of time. But these groups are something that we understand from people who have been going to them exist throughout Europe, and people have really used that as a way to connect and meet people in that community, which is pretty fascinating actually.
It's just really nice that there's already a community in existence that you just get to hop right into. Something that I find to be a big difference here in all of Greece, but something that we've really noticed coming to Crete, because we finally have had a kitchen, is food affordability. I cannot believe how much money we save shopping at the farmer's market.
I wouldn't just say food affordability, I would say good food affordability, because
Facts.
It's all local, it's all farm to table, it's all fresh, and there's so much good soil here too because of past volcanic activity that it's incredible.
Something I really do love about Hanya is that it does have a lot of the comforts that we enjoyed back in the States. You are able to still have access to a lot of things that in other areas of Greece you might not be able to access.
Yeah, one of the main reasons we chose Hanya as a place to settle was because there was enough of a city and a population here to have different types of food, a hospital, life in the winter. And that's really something that doesn't exist that much throughout Greece. So we have the benefits of being on the island while also having the accessibility we need. And that's really why we chose Hanya, why we chose Crete.
I think at the end of the day, there's a place in Greece for absolutely everyone. And after we've been traveling, we do feel like Crete is a place that we think is great for us to settle. And it's a great home base for when we want to travel other places around Greece.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be able to travel again come late spring and early summer, because I can't wait to see more of this beautiful country and share it with you.
This will be our last weekly video for a while, as we use the upcoming season to capture more episodes of Becoming Greek and share Greece's beauty with you. Thank you for following along, and be sure to let us know where you would like to see us visit in Season 3 in the comments below. And if you haven't already, watch Season 1 and Season 2 of Becoming Greek on YouTube and share with those that you think would enjoy. You can also follow us on Instagram and connect with us on Facebook to follow us more closely as we travel Greece and capture more episodes of Becoming Greek.